All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Whitney Keller is suing Seth Keller in the amount of $5,000. Ms. Keller claims her brother secretly sold valuable collectibles that belong to both of them as children and says he should split the profits with her.
You all are siblings.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And you all are in my courtroom fighting over some $5,000. Yes?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you know you all have a lot of explaining to do why the two of you all could not sit down and figure this out without coming to my court. What happened?
Your Honor, so basically what happened was I was taking my daughter to the thrift store and she saw a bunch of little Beanie Babies. And I remembered that me and my brother used to play with them when we were younger, and we also decided to start collecting them together. And I told her that I would reach out and see if I could go find our old ones for the sole purpose of if I used to play with them, why not pass them down? I ended up texting him to reach out to him, which I do have the text messages right here to prove that I did reach out to him about it, and he told me that he sold them. No warning, no nothing, just straight up sold them, and I had to find out by bringing them up to him.
All right, so how did you have the baby, Seth? Obviously, you had physical possession of them in order to be able to sell them.
Right. And that's why I'm confused why I'm here. Because, I mean, they were mine. Backstory of me, I mean, recently I just, I fell in some hard times. And for myself personally, I lost my job. I was actually working on building my own real estate company and have my own firm and actually start trying to sell houses. And I put a lot of money into it. My girlfriend helped me invest into it. It didn't work out like we wanted it to, and she ended up leaving me.
I've been out of my... So you had a double hit.
Yeah.
The business did not go well, and your girlfriend left you.
Yeah, and honestly, it's been rough, recently. And I have been out of my mom's house. They didn't expect me to come back. Unfortunately, I did, and they were loving enough, and I'm blessed that I was able to come back. So, her, she's married. Like she said, she has a kid. She is very busy. But, let's go back. When I tried to reach out to her, before I reached out to my parents, I reached out to her and see if I could stay there. They have more than enough room.
Oh, that's what this is about.
They have more than enough room for me to stay there. I told her that I could help take care of my niece. She's doing the salon thing, and I told her I could be there to help out because right now she can't afford daycare for this kid.
So this is really, wait a minute, this is really what this is about. You're mad at your sister because she did not say you could move in with her. So is it fair to say that the relationship between the two of you all is strained? Obviously, you're in here suing him, but aside from the money, it sounds like things are not going well with you all.
Well, the reason why I told him that he couldn't stay with me is because I told him he needed to get a job first, or at least do something to show me that you're trying.
You never even gave me a chance, but whatever.
This isn't the first time, though.
But
this isn't the first time he's been in a situation where somebody would help him and he'll get comfortable and then he'll rely on that. And like I said, I have my own family now, and after having my own family, I had to grow up. I realized that sometimes you have to say no to people. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions because you can't sit there and watch the people that you love just fall.
I mean, honestly, I feel as that her wife influences a lot of her decisions. And before she got married, we used to be able to hang out a lot more. And I feel like before she got married and she wasn't married, she would have allowed me to move in with her.
And things are very strained with you all. Clearly.
Yeah.
So tell me about this $5,000. Why are you suing him specifically?
Because he sold a pack that were not only his property. He sold it without calling me, without texting me, without even giving me a heads up saying, hey, sis.
All right, so specifically then, Seth, what happened when we get to the box with the Beanie Babies?
I saw them, and honestly, I was like, yeah, I remember these were worth some money now, I heard. So I looked it up. Sure enough, they were worth a lot of money. So
when you say a lot of money, how much was that?
I mean, I saw some that was worth $45,000 as max, you know, some as low as $10,000 for just one. The ones that I have sold for, because I was just trying to get a little money to get back on my feet.
But the two, specifically the two most expensive ones in this batch, were the ones that you say were your
My gifts.
gifts.
Yes.
Right? And that was for a total of $6,000.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes.
All right. And so he says that he sold them. Let's start with the $6,000. He says he sold these two specific ones for a total of $6,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
His sworn testimony in this court is that those were birthday gifts to him.
Yes.
Why should you share in that?
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
There's a lot of judgment going on both sides of you all. But at the end of the day, this really is a problem.
And later,
It was really fun until I started to realize that she was basically using me as an ATM.
If that is true, then you are allowing her to use you as an ATM, yes?
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Whitney Keller, who is suing her brother Seth Keller for $5,000.
The ones that he sold, that's fine. But it's the fact that he went behind my back and knowing that those weren't all his, didn't ask me nothing. And I feel like one of the main reasons why he's upset is because last year my parents had gave me a painting.
Tell me about this painting.
It was
we're
just a
gonna talk
painting
about
that
the
they
painting
had in their house and then they gave it to me when they downsized into their condo because I had just moved into a new house and I wanted, some decorations. And my parents had gave it to me. I wasn't aware that they wanted to keep it in the family. I wasn't aware that they did, I couldn't sell it, anything. It was just, I said, ooh, I really like that painting. Can I have it? Here you go, keep it. It was nothing else about, other than that.
No, it was
One
no
of my
can I
friends-
have it. They
Hold on,
gave it
just
to
a
you
sec.
as a
Seth,
gift.
tell me, what was your understanding about this painting?
They gave it to her as a gift. It was given to her. It was no, oh, can I have it? They gave you this painting.
'Cause I liked
and it was
it.
supposed to be handed down. It was supposed to be
They
handed down
never
to your
told
daughter
me
too.
that.
So wait a minute, how do you know that it was supposed to be handed down?
Our parents
Because he
told her.
found out after.
Seth, what were you about to say?
Her parents told her.
What did your
After.
parents say?
So what happened was, if he would let me finish, one of my friends works at an art museum and they appraised it and they said that the painting was worth $14,000. Like I said, if I would have known that my parents didn't want me to sell that painting, I would have never touched it. But as soon as I sold it, I told my parents, and I even offered them after they told me that they wanted me to keep it in the family, which I did not know because it was one big misunderstanding. I even told them I will give them some of the money for selling it because I feel bad. My parents have forgiven me, but for some reason, he still holds it over my head. And as you can see in the text message, the last thing he said to me was 2 words, the painting.
So you agree that the $6,000 worth of babies
Are his.
Are his, okay. And you agree that because you said you're entitled to half of the $10,000, then how did you come up with 5 if you believe that $6,000 of the $10,000?
Because he also sold them at a very low rate, which I have right here because I looked them up to see how much everything was worth. And some of the ones that I had were worth more than $500.
Oh my.
Oh, they're all gone. I sold them.
Every last one of them.
Every last one of them. They all gone.
Now, this $10,000, I'm going to back out the $6,000 because we've agreed that those were his babies. I do think that there were Beanie Babies that belong to you and there were Beanie Babies that belong collectively to you. So this $4,000 is unfortunate because you said I could have sold these for a lot more.
Your Honor, can I speak on something? I actually, because this whole thing started, is because she texted me.
She has the text.
I know. So what I'm trying to say is this. If you never text me about it, you would have never knew about it and we wouldn't be sitting here. And then on top of that, I tried to say, hey, can I buy her a new one? She didn't want it because it was cheap. So
No,
it kind of shows to
you
me you were
said
really only
word
the
from
ones that
no.
were in that box because they're worth money because you
What
did
happened
research on
was,
it.
I said, why would I want her to have a newer, cheaper one when she could have one that we used to play with, or that at least that her mom used to play
Because
with?
it's about money with you.
No, it wasn't. It was about the fact that I wanted my kid to have something that I used to play with. I already felt like crap because I sold a painting that my parents wanted me to keep. But you don't know that, do you? Because you think you know everything. Just like how you assume that I'm busy all the time.
Well, and so it's really not about the money?
No.
Then why are you in here suing him?
Because if that's the only way that I can get his attention, then I'm going to do what I have to do for him to finally understand and for him to realize that he doesn't know everything. He assumes that he knows everything going on in my life. He assumes that, oh, she's so happy. Oh, she has money. Oh, she has this. When he doesn't know, he doesn't bother to ask, but he expects me to be there for him.
I mean, there's a lot of judgment going on both sides of you all. But at the end of the day, this really is a problem. Are you willing to even work on a relationship with your sister?
Yeah, I just miss what we had. I mean, like I said, we used to hang out all the time, and she don't want nothing to do with me no more, I feel like. And
It's Seth, it's not that I don't want anything to do with you. I have a family too. When you have your own family one day, you'll realize
Well, maybe
that
you can do a better job of integrating your brother into some of the things that your family is doing.
I try, but it's like if every time I bring him over, he'll sit there and go, oh yeah, can you tell your girlfriend? Oh yeah, I mean your wife. He'll throw like slick, shady remarks at it.
Seth,
and it's
let's
like,
do better.
Sorry,
Seth, you
why would I want that
Seth, you gotta
around?
do better.
I'm sorry, sis. I'm sorry that I do that. I don't mean to.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I
Yeah,
don't.
you do. Yes, you do. You're lying.
Oh my God.
You're lying.
Seems to be a problem with you. I'm coming down here and I am spending 2 seconds with you. You do mean to do it. You mean to take the jabs. You do mean to do it. And until you own it, it's not gonna get better. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
And you gotta do better. You gotta make an effort. You can't always say, oh, Judge, I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm working, I got a family. You know, I'm busy, I'm tired, I got a family. But you gotta make time for the people in your life, starting with your parents.
Yes.
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now listen, $2,000 judgment in your favor, but I want you to understand this is much more important than the $2,000. Got it? All right, if nothing further, we'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $2,000.
I love you. But
love
we
you
need
too.
therapy.
Yeah, I agree.
No, we need therapy. I'm so serious.
I know. Use your $2,000 and we'll go.
No, use your 10.
Parties are dismissed.
Coming up,
I have never borrowed anything like $500 at one time.
Have you borrowed-
200,
the question
200.
is, have you borrowed any money from her?
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. April Whitehead is suing Gracie Scott in the amount of $500. Ms. Whitehead claims her friend lied about losing her job so she could borrow money and says Ms. Scott conned her, so she needs to pay her back.
All right, April, you're suing Gracie. How do you all even know each other?
Your Honor, I am suing Gracie. We are ex-friends. We were college-
Ex-friends?
That's right.
And now you're suing her for some $500.
Yeah.
Tell me about the relationship before you all were on opposite sides of my courtroom.
Well, we were college roommates for 2 years. We were good friends. We were always there for each other. I believed everything she told me. She has shown herself to be a deceptive person at this point, and I just can't see the friendship continuing, obviously, after what she's done here.
So, Gracie, how would you describe the relationship?
Unfortunately, I would agree. We were really good friends. We were roommates. We would go on hikes together, and it was really fun until I started to realize that she was basically using me as an ATM, and that's
That is
not okay
true.
with me.
Absolutely not.
It's
Well,
true.
but if she's using you as an ATM, if that is true, then you are allowing her to use you as an ATM, yes?
That is correct. And then so I started a journal. So every time I was spending money outside of my budget, I would write it down. I also have evidence for you here that I actually have been lending her more money and not getting it back. So even though she's asking me for $500, she actually owes me $850. So I
That's
should
not
really
true.
be suing
That's
her
not
for
accurate. That amount
$350.
is not correct.
Coming up,
I don't care how close, if it's your sister, your brother, your roommate, your best friend, you gotta get some stuff in writing so that there's not this problem that we're having in court today.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of April Whitehead, who is suing Gracie Scott for fraud.
So how is it that you loaned her the $500? What were the circumstances?
We were out at happy hour. She cried to me about how she needed money for a suit so she could apply for jobs. She said she had lost her job. And being a good friend, I wanted to help her out. I had recently gotten a really good tax refund, and she knew that. And I peeled off $500 in cash and just handed it to her so that she could get a new job.
Did you have anything in writing?
No. I mean, we have text messages.
You say, Gracie, let me turn to you. You say that you have lent her money or just given her money over the years?
I have lent her money. I have text messages of her saying that she will pay me back, which is obviously not true because she still hasn't paid me back yet. And I also kept it in writing as a journal of all the added up events.
I have never borrowed anything like $500 at one time.
Have you borrowed-
200,
the question
200.
is, have you borrowed any money from her?
Little amounts, but it was
200's
never in
not
a
little, Your
situation
Honor.
where I came to her and said, I'm going to pay you back and this is for this, and I'm lying about what's happening. Like, I've come to find out that she did not lose her job, did not need a new suit. She was just trying to get money back from me.
Oh, stop. So, Gracie, did you say that you lost your job?
No, ma'am. I said I am wanting to buy a new suit for job interviews, but that never implied I lost my job.
There's nothing in writing. I have said so many times in this courtroom, I don't care how close, if it's your sister, your brother, your roommate, your best friend, you gotta get some stuff in writing so that there's not this problem that we're having in court today.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
You're now suing for the $500, and you're like, well, wait a minute, you know, she owes me all this money. And so I'm going to consider it a wash. You're not going to get your $850 that you're claiming in this journal, and you're not going to get the $500. It's too bad that you've lost this friendship over this, but this is a situation where people loan money casually, they don't document it, and then they come to court expecting me to sort it out. And so under these circumstances, I am going to deny your claim. You should have filed a counterclaim, which you didn't do. But if you had, I would consider it a wash at this point because you all were having money back and forth. And before you lie again and talk about losing a job and you need a suit or whatever, even if you didn't say you lost your job, the implications that you needed a suit to interview, it's reasonable that she would have thought that you needed a new job, but that doesn't matter. What the point is that you were trying to get money back that you had given her over the years, and you need to just deal with it directly. None of this around the barn, lying over the hill. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. And so for the reasons I've stated, the case is dismissed and will stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
It's just a waste of time.
I just have no interest in knowing her anymore.
Doesn't. It's even. I said we were even before, and we're still even, so.
Gather your belongings. Let's exit to the rear of the court.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Veronica Silks is suing Marcus Klein in the amount of $1,190.72. Ms. Sulks claims she kicked her boyfriend out and says he vindictively threw her beauty products away. Mr. Klein is countersuing for $305.
Today, we have a suit and a countersuit. You're suing the defendant is suing you. So this sounds like almost like a tit for tat situation. First of all, how do you all know each other?
Well, this is my ex-boyfriend. We were together for a little over a year, but as we can see here, it did not work out.
You're just shaking your head.
Yes, I am, Your Honor. It did not work out.
So you all were together for a little over a year, and let me guess. That's why you all are in my courtroom now, suing each other.
Partly, yes. Your
Partly,
Honor.
yes. All right. So let me get a little background. How did you all meet? I mean, something must have been going well for you all to have been together for a year.
Well, we did meet on Tinder. I wasn't looking for something serious at the time, but when we met in person, it started off great. I mean, we connected. At one point, I really saw my life with him. I mean, he moved in just after a couple months of us knowing each other. I let him move into my apartment, and things were going well, and it was really just about 3 months before we split that things just started going south.
So hold on just a second. So you all meet. A couple of months later, you move in. So
Correct.
this was moving pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that's a serious commitment to live with each other. And do you agree that things were going well?
Yeah, things were going extremely well for us. When we first met, I really admired her, and I thought that we really had something.
She thought that this was really a connection that could last.
Yeah, I did as well. I
You
was
did?
really invested in the relationship, enough to move in with her.
But something went wrong.
I mean, I am kind of a clean freak. I like things organized, I like things a certain way, and I guess my presentation of that wasn't going too well.
No. That's not at all what happened.
So
What
then
happened?
So, Your Honor, so it started getting progressively worse. Like, she started getting really aggressive at me, just started being really mean, nitpicking every little thing that I did, and it just kept getting worse.
Like for
and worse.
instance.
I would leave like a shoe tilted slightly in the wrong place, and she would just blow up at me. And, you know, I would have to take that and take that and take that. And then it would just spiral into like these arguments.
No, you would get angry at the...
I would get angry?
Yes.
No.
I was nitpicking, but to me, I was just expressing what was going on. Anytime I expressed
Yeah, but
any
you can
thought to him,
express things in a
he
nicer
started telling
way.
me, well, you're just nitpicking and dismissing completely what I am trying to tell him.
So give me an example. You're saying to him, look, Marcus.
Like, as the example that he brought up with his shoes on the ground. Like,
Oh, yeah, so tell me about that.
yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people, you know, you take your shoes off at the door. And he knew that. He knew that from the jump. When he moved in, you know, I let him know, like, hey, that, you know, I'm opening my space to you. I like it a certain way. And he seemed very understanding in the beginning. He, you know, was just like, okay, I understand what you mean. I did explain that I like things cleaner. And as things went on, you know, it's like all those conversations that we had about that, just out the window.
When you say leaving his things everywhere, like, tell me.
It would be like his shoes or leaving a jacket on the ground when he just got off of work, and he's bringing in all this mess from the outside, dirt or just germs in general from the outside coming in.
I work at a
Germs.
warehouse, and I go straight from there and I drive home. How can I leave all this mess?
When you're walking in, when you're deloading
So you want the
from your
shoes
day.
at the door. You don't want him to
Yeah.
walk into the apartment with
all
his
over
shoes
the
on.
carpet. I don't like stains or any of that.
And then, I mean, it seems pretty easy. You could just kick off his shoes at the door.
Well, I would kick off my shoes at the door, but it would be like, oh, like, let's say I came home and then like one shoe is like slightly off the shelf. She would want it perfect.
I could get a little OCD, a little bit.
A little.
OCD.
A little.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
I would tell him that he needs to be more mindful. He needs to fix those shoes up when he comes in.
I don't know if that's what mindfulness is, but okay, keep talking.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Veronica Sulks, who is suing Marcus Klein for property loss.
So now his shoes are not everywhere. They're on the shelf, but one is slightly tilted. Would you say something?
Yeah, I would.
And what would you say?
I would tell him that he needs to be more mindful. He needs to fix those shoes up when he comes in.
I don't know if that's what mindfulness is, but okay, keep talking.
I think it is just being mindful, just being neat. It's not a hard task to just be neat and just put
Sounds
things
like
in
you're
the place where they
compulsive,
belong.
though. I mean, you even admit that, right?
It can be there. I don't think I'm like completely.
Maybe see a psychiatrist? I don't know.
So what happened? What happened that brings you to my courtroom today?
So one day, I woke up and I had a little bit of an attitude when I woke up. I just wasn't really in the best mood.
So when you say I had a little bit of attitude,
it means I just wanted to be left alone.
right,
I just
you
wanted.
just didn't want anybody to talk to you.
Yeah,
Leave me alone. Did you say that?
I did. I tried to tell, because he asked me, what's wrong? And I told him, I'm just not feeling it today. I would just like some time alone. Like, I don't really feel like talking much.
Yeah, that happens.
And I'm only human. I have my days like that. Sometimes he has days like that, and we have to respect that. But that day, he had to keep asking me, what is wrong? And telling me that I'm taking my attitude out on him, when I already tried to explain to him that I was already just not feeling the day. It's nothing against him. Today is not my day.
Let me back up. Yeah. Before that day, and I get it. I mean, there are times when you just need your space, and you just need to be quiet, and you just don't need to talk to people. I get that. But before that day, were you nitpicking and nagging him about things in the house?
I don't feel as though that I was.
Yes, she was.
Give me other examples other than the shoe. What else?
So like she said with the jacket on the floor, like, yeah, I just get home, like I take off my jacket. Okay, cool, it's left on the couch. Like, give me 5 minutes. Or maybe she could have just asked me and been like, hey, could you take your jacket and hang it up, please?
He says it like if it can be that simple. I mean,
it is
every
that
time I've
simple.
asked you to do that, then it turns into a whole thing of, oh, you're so, like, you always want things a certain way. You're always bugging me to put my things away. It's not something where I can just simply ask you. Because when I do ask you, you want to complain about it and you want to argue with me.
I'm not trying to argue. Imagine you just come home from work. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. Imagine if you just come home from work, you take off your jacket, you're exhausted. I work at a warehouse, by the way. So we work 12, 16-hour shifts over there. And I'm exhausted. I don't need to be told, hey, blah, blah, blah. Oh, your shoes are like this, that, and the other thing. Like, you could be like, hey, honey, like, could you just please, like, next time, blah, blah, like.
Well, if you're consistently not doing it, then to me it sounds like you do need to be told.
It's not a big deal. You could have just said, hey, could you hang this up? And I'll be like, yeah, I just got home. Give me a little bit of time, and then I'll do it. Okay?
You all don't need to be together.
Well, we aren't anymore,
We're not
Your Honor.
anymore.
Oh, I understand why. You don't need to be together. You all have a very different approach to living together. See, that's what happens. People are like, oh, this is the one. I really want to be with this person. And then they quickly move in together with really no idea. That's a serious commitment when you move in with someone, that you've got to be really clear. You don't know everything up front. I'm not suggesting that you can anticipate everything, but you got to have some sense about compatibility. And I am just amazed that you all got along as well as you did for the first 6 months. and then things just went off the rails. But let's get to why you're here today. You're saying that he threw out things that belong to you.
Yes.
Tell me what happened, and then I'm going to rule on this case. I'm going to hear from you about your counterclaim, and then I'm going to rule.
So that day that we finally had just our last blowout, you know, I woke up with the attitude, he's picking at me, and it turns into him being so upset about my attitude that he begins to tell me that if he was just going to have to deal with all of this, and if his peace was just going to be disturbed like this, and he wishes he would have been with another woman, that he would have just chosen to be with another woman.
Is not what I said.
What did you say? Tell me, Marcus, what you said.
I said, if you keep treating me like this, I would be better off with another woman.
Either way, he's bringing up another woman into the conversation.
It doesn't matter.
And that hurt me, because I don't need to hear that. Even if he wanted to leave me already, I don't need to hear about what his next prospect is going to be, what this next woman's going to be. Like, I would hope that he would have enough respect for me to not sit here and tell me that, that he would rather be with another woman.
He said, if you're going to treat me like this, I would be better off with another woman.
And that hurt me. It hurt to hear that. So
what happened? What happened with this claim?
In that moment, I took his things. I told him, you know what, I want you to leave. And I took his things, and I packed it all up and threw it out my house.
Threw it out of your house, meaning where did you throw it?
I was just throwing it out the door, and wherever it landed, and I just wanted him out.
Coming up.
He went out of his way to go into the bathroom and take my beauty and skincare products, which were very expensive. He took them all and threw them in our apartment dumpster.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Veronica Sulks, who is suing Marcus Klein for property loss.
I wanted him out now and right away.
What if you would have hit somebody with that stuff? Then we'd be in criminal court.
My concern in that moment was I need him out. I need his things out. And
so why are you suing him for almost $1,200?
So once he saw me throwing his things out, he went out of his way to go into the bathroom and take my beauty and skincare products, which were very expensive. He took them all and threw them in our apartment dumpster. And after that, he took some of his things and just drove off all kinds of crazy. And I tried calling him the couple days after. He was not picking me up. And he was gone.
And your counterclaim is based on what? Her throwing everything out the door?
No, it is not, Your Honor. My counterclaim is that I bought a pair of shoes. They were my workout shoes. They were brand new. And when she was tossing stuff out the door. Let me talk, please.
Yeah, it's his turn. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. So she threw them. They landed in the dumpster and got completely ruined, the shoes. And they cost me $305. I do have a receipt. And the counterclaim is that for her cosmetic products, that she's claiming that whatever. But I just want to be reimbursed the $305 for those shoes that she ruined.
What happened to the cosmetics that you threw out?
So I just grabbed them. I was like really heated because of the situation.
Coming up.
It's like kids. You know, like I'm refereeing kids. You started it, and then you did something, and then you did something. I mean, you all are grown.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Veronica Sulks, who is suing Marcus Klein for property loss.
And because she had thrown all your stuff out the door, yeah.
Yeah, I was really heated. And I felt like she cared about her skin products more than she cared about me.
That's not true.
It doesn't matter if it's not true. That's how I felt. I took everything, I put it in a trash bag, and I put it in the dumpster. That's it. I gathered my belongings that she threw outside, and I went into the dumpster, took my shoes out, and I left. I drove, I slept in my car that night, and I went to work the next day at my warehouse job.
Your Honor, these were not just any old, like, regular dermatology products that I can just go and replace. I had to seek out an appointment with my dermatologist.
You have medical bills?
Yeah, yes, I do have medical bill here. I have a receipt for that.
And let me see your receipts.
Yes, Your Honor.
I had to go to a dermatologist. I do suffer with rosacea, and it is something that I'm really insecure about. It took me months to get this appointment with the dermatologist. My insurance doesn't even cover half of the visit. And so
what about the prescriptions, though?
Yeah,
you're telling me that these are all prescribed medication.
Yes, and I had to pay out of pocket for them.
Prescribed.
Why? Why did you have to pay out of pocket if you had insurance?
My insurance doesn't cover all of that. Since dermatology isn't all the way covered in my insurance policy.
Was it covered at all?
There was probably only like a quarter of it covered.
It's like kids. You know, like I'm refereeing kids. You started it, and then you did something, and then you did something. I mean, you all are grown.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
He takes your dermatology medication and puts it in a bag and throws it out. He didn't throw it all out individually, right? He put it in a bag. You could have gone and gotten it. This is just childish. You go and you get mad and you just start throwing all your stuff out.
The majority of which I paid for.
I'm talking. And then he throws your stuff out, and it's a tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. She's claiming almost $1,200. You're claiming $300 and some change. I'm not going to give either of you a dime. I think you all need to go your separate ways. Actually, I'm going to give you the $305 because she started this. She started this by throwing all your stuff out, and so you're going to get the $305. But this is just petty stuff. Petty stuff. And you just became crazy and started throwing stuff out. You shouldn't have thrown her stuff out. You shouldn't have thrown her stuff out. But she started this, and so she's going to have to deal with the consequences. Judgment for the defendant on his counterclaim in the amount of $305, and your primary claim is dismissed. We'll stand adjourned.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff has been ordered to pay $305.
This is not fair. You did not even pay for any of the stuff that I threw out, except for those shoes.
I didn't.
And I should have been compensated for
like
this
the
stuff.
judge said,
this was medical things that you messed with.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Susan Pritchett is suing Nathan Richardson in the amount of $10,000. Ms. Pritchett claims she took good care of Mr. Richardson's elderly mother and says he fired her when his mother wandered off after her shift ended.
Oh my goodness. Miss Pritchett, you're in court suing the defendant for some $10,000. It's my understanding that you were the caretaker for his mother.
That's correct.
And that his mother needed care because she suffered from dementia. Is that fair? Is that how I describe it properly?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Pritchett, tell me what happened and why is it necessary for you to be in my courtroom today suing Mr. Richardson?
So I'm suing because Mr. Richardson wrongfully terminated me for circumstances that were beyond my control.
So explain to me what happened.
So I'm an at-home nurse, and he hired me to take care of his 77-year-old mother for Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's.
And he, in the beginning, didn't believe she needed a live-in nurse. That she
So
just
stop
needed...
right there. So, Mr. Richardson, when you hired Ms. Pritchett,
Correct.
what were the circumstances? Describe to me why you hired her and what your expectations were.
So we started about 2 years ago, and when we first started, my mother's dementia wasn't really all that bad. It was just in the beginning stages, and as time started to progress, my caregiver told me that her circumstances were sort of going downhill.
And that is often the case.
Of course.
As people age with that condition, that the condition gets worse.
Most definitely. And me, I'm a full-time entrepreneur, so I don't have the time every day to be catering to my mother. So that's why we're here, because I needed help with the caregiver, simply.
You had to hire someone.
Yeah.
You needed help.
You get what I'm saying? So here I was with the caregiver. I needed her help. And 2 years ago, before anything got out of control, we basically had an agreement, a verbal agreement where...
And what was that agreement?
That agreement was simply just, she watches my mother from 7 to 7, and...
So 7 a.m.?
Yep, 7 a.m.
So during the day?
Most definitely.
From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. was the agreement?
Yep, and my mother lives alone, so...
Yeah.
Like, I work, and I get off of work at 8 some days, I get off of work some days later, so I try to communicate and ask her, hey, can you work these hours 7 to 7? That was really the time that I felt like...
So the agreement was
yeah, that's the
7
time
to 7
set.
during the day.
Exactly.
All right, because you worked during the day and you needed help. And so it seems to me very wise that you wanted to have someone in there caring for your mother.
Most definitely.
So Ms. Pritchett did that for 2 years.
Correct.
But yet and still she's in my courtroom today. So
Yes.
something happened. Ms. Pritchett, what happened?
So I was within my contracted hours of 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and I kept seeing her decline. After 2 years, she was starting to decline.
Right.
So I told the defendant several times that I believe she needed
More
extra
help.
care, and if he can bring someone else in to help me out to take care of her, but he wouldn't hire anyone else. So when she went to bed one night, she was asleep. She was asleep when I left at 7 o'clock. And then he had sent me a message asking me, can I stay longer? But it's within my contracted hours that I have a hard out at 7 o'clock p.m. because my son, I have to pick him up. And I've explained this several times.
All right,
that I
and you
have to pick
understood
up my
that.
son.
You understood.
I definitely understood that.
Okay, so her time frame was 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Correct.
And that she couldn't make exceptions because she had other family responsibilities.
Of
Okay,
course.
so we both agree on that.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were
So
good
that's
there.
clear.
Yes.
All right.
And then this,
In the interim, you said to Mr. Richardson that you thought that he needed more care.
Yes.
Because you saw this decline
yes.
in his mother's condition.
Yes, and that even if someone came in from that time, the 7, when I leave at 7, that when he returns at 8, that someone could at least watch her at that period or even hire a night nurse because she was unsafe. And he still refused. I kind of think
So,
he was
Mr.
being
Richardson, why not hire somebody for the night?
I mean, hey, that's exactly why we're here, actually, Your
All
Honor.
right, talk to me.
Because it all ended in a termination, but I'm gonna tell you how we got there, simply.
Please,
Do you
tell
mind
me.
me providing you some evidence?
Yes,
All right,
please.
for sure, for sure. Here you go, sir.
But now I want you to answer my question,
So-
though, and I'm going to look at the evidence.
Go ahead.
If she was seeing a decline, and you acknowledged that your mother's condition was declining,
And I definitely acknowledged it.
and she is recommending that she needed more care and recommended a night nurse,
Most definitely.
why didn't you hire a night nurse for her?
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
So, Ms. Pritchett, from your perspective, what happened?
I kept suggesting these changes, that she needed more help, and he refused. He said he thought she was fine.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Susan Pritchett, who is suing Nathan Richardson for unpaid wages.
So you're telling me that the reason she was terminated is because she was replaced with somebody else?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely she was replaced.
So you replaced her with somebody 24/7?
Yep. Somebody who lives in the house now with my mother. Full-time living nurse.
Interesting. All right, so Ms. Pritchett, from your perspective, what happened?
Okay, so I kept suggesting these changes, that she needed more help, and he refused. He said he thought she was fine. So with that being said, we moved on with my regular schedule, and then one night, I went home at 7 o'clock like usual, and he had sent me a text saying he'll be late, but when I left, I got a frantic call at 8 o'clock at night saying
So, excuse me, that is the text exchange we're talking about right now.
That's what I was gonna get into, the evidence. So we had a situation where one day I tried to communicate in advance because, you know, sometimes as an executive, you know, you get those late night calls. So I had a Zoom call from 7:30 to 8:30, and I told her, like, the house isn't too far. I could be over there, but I realistically have to be in this meeting. I can't just drop everything and go watch my mother.
Right, but she had a contract and an agreement that you agreed to.
Of course.
That she had to be out. She had a hard out at 7 o'clock.
Of course. And I think it could have been better communicated, but it's more so she just neglected my mother and left.
How did she neglect your mother?
As you can see, she says in a text message that she's sleeping, but when I got home at 8:45, she was not sleeping. She was not even in the house.
So where was she?
Would you like to tell her where she was?
Well, when you called me, when the defendant called me, he said my mother's missing. And so I assumed she must have gotten confused at some point and left. But when I left the house, she was asleep.
All right.
So I immediately went to his house. I went with him, and for 2 hours we went around looking for her. And then finally we got a call from the neighbor saying she's safe at their house.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
We got her back home, put her in the bed, and then he tells me it's my fault. He blamed me for it happening.
She's lucky that she's safe now. Think about it.
I am thinking about it, Mr.
My mother
Richardson.
could have been anywhere.
Yes, I am thinking about it. She had a contract. There was an agreement that she had to be out by 7. You had a Zoom call. You could not get there. But you've also told me in sworn testimony that you typically didn't leave work every night until 8. So this is not the first time that your mother's been left at home alone. And so how is it Ms. Pritchett's fault that when she left, she fulfilled her responsibilities and left at 7 p.m. You did not get there until 8:45. She then gets this call, and she then comes to try to help find your mother. How is it that it's her fault that your mother went missing?
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to understand. My role as a judge is to hear both sides and to listen clearly to both sides. But you're not telling me how this is her fault.
Exactly.
It was communicated in advance that I would be home late, and I just think that we could have worked something out. And there was a strong lack of communication, but also it's just like I could hire someone else, or I could pay her. But at the end of the day, by hiring someone else, they're there full time. They're there all day. So now I took it upon myself. Like, she gave me great advice. She would tell me, every day, your mother's getting sick, your mother's getting sick, your mother's getting sick. Like, think about all the trauma that comes with that. Like, I'm literally emotionally distressed by all of this. Like, I know she's sick. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm paying you to help me.
But Your Honor,
does that not make sense?
It does make sense, but Mr. Richardson, what I'm trying to get you to understand is that your agreement with Ms. Pritchett was from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm going to say it again. It was not her responsibility for your mother after 7 p.m. Even if you communicated to her that you needed to be late, she has always said, I have to be gone by 7:30. Now, if you were that concerned, it would have, well, you got a 24-hour care now, but on that evening, I have done Zooms in different places. I've done Zooms, outside the soccer field for my grandchildren. Listen, you have to do what you have to do, right? Got to get there to cheer, but you got to be on the Zoom call. My point is that I know that your business is important. You're an entrepreneur. With that comes enormous responsibilities, enormous responsibilities. That is not lost on me. But you have not made it clear to me why this woman was responsible for your mother being missing that night. Mr. Richardson?
Your Honor, can I say something?
Yes.
I cared about her too. I knew her more than anybody else knew her. I knew her better than her own son knew her. And when she came up disappearing, I came back immediately, even though I had my own child at home and I had to find someone to take care of him for me to get back over there to help him find his mom.
Right.
Just as he loves his mom, I have responsibilities for my child too. So I get to my child, he calls with this thing. It's very upsetting that she's missing because I care. I've been 2 years with her, 12 hours a day. So then I go back home, I get someone else to help keep my kid so I can run over and help him with her. That's outside of my contracted hours. That's not when I'm supposed to be there. So you can't hold me neglectful when that's not when I'm supposed to be there.
Coming up.
You are suing for $10,000. Tell me what that $10,000 is based on.
When he terminated me, I have been out of work for so many months. I'm worth more than this.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Susan Pritchett, who is suing Nathan Richardson for unpaid wages.
So you are suing for $10,000. Tell me what that $10,000 is based on, Ms. Pritchett.
For missed work, I'm worth more than this, than what he gave me. I feel like he should respect me for what I've done with his family and not treat me the way he has, but I'm owed more than this. But in California, I'm only allowed to sue for $10,000, so that's what I'm doing. But he owes me more than that.
Welcome to California.
Mr. Richardson, this woman has been with your mother 12 hours a day for 2 years. You know, and I think that she was honest in saying she needs more care.
Well, we could have worked together on finding someone else together if I can't do the job the way I'm supposed to, because I know her more than anybody else. I can help train someone. Excuse you.
I'm sorry.
I can help train someone.
So that's an abrupt change from one person to another without a bridge. You could have provided the
so
bridge.
that I can work with that person, and then they learn the job, and then we can kind of make a smoother transition that way, especially with dementia and Alzheimer's. You don't just go from switching like that, which was a breach of my contract. I have my contract here.
I'd like to see that contract,
It's going to be
please.
easier. Your Honor, put yourself in my shoes for real. You come home that day and your mother just missing. What you gonna do? You gonna go crazy. That's simply what happened.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that, Mr. Richardson. Listen, my mother didn't suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's, thank God. But we were in a crowded place in New York. We had gone to see the theater. I turned my back to try to find a cab. I look around, I don't see her. I was like, oh my God.
Coming up.
I'm sure you're thinking, what if she's not alive anymore?
That's why I was trying to avoid that happening to her in the first place.
And
I didn't want her to be left where she'd have no care.
I believe that.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Susan Pritchett, who is suing Nathan Richardson for unpaid wages.
I can only imagine the anxiety, the fear, the frustration, and I'm sure you're thinking, what if she's not alive anymore?
That's why I was trying to avoid that happening to her in the first place.
And
I didn't want her to be left where she'd have no care.
I believe that, and I believe that you're sincere, and I believe that you have this woman, his mother's best interest. So I see the contract. I see how you were paid. And so you're basically saying that this is 4 months?
It's 3.
It's 3 months.
It's a little under 3 months.
Okay.
And I was owed
Mr.
more
Richardson,
than that.
I get that you had to get somebody else, but do you really think it was fair? I mean, we're really talking about fairness right now. I'm not going so much legal as I'm talking about what's fair. This woman has poured her life into taking care of you.
Most definitely.
I believe that this was more than a job for her. I believe that she really cared for her. And you can't put a price on that.
No, you can't put a price on that.
You cannot put a price on that. So, Mr. Richardson, why not pay her something?
I didn't mind paying her at all. It's just, if someone tells me they can't do the job, why am I gonna give them the job they can't do? Make it make sense. Because she said she cannot work after 7, so now I find someone who could work after 7.
I did the
and
job
now I'm
I
the
was
bad
supposed
guy.
to do.
I'm the bad guy?
But you fired me.
I didn't
you fired me
you.
as if
You
I
asked to be fired. There's a
I didn't
difference.
ask
She
to be
asked to
fired.
not be
No,
employed.
let's be
didn't ask to
honest.
be
Let's be
fired.
honest
Asked to not
about
be
this.
employed.
I
Mr.
didn't.
Richardson, you're changing your tune in here now that you're in
Yes.
court.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
You fired her because you said that she was responsible for your mother missing that night, and you were
Of course.
angry.
Negligence.
That's what happened. You fired her for something that she didn't have responsibilities
Exactly.
to control. So, Mr. Richardson, you had told me that you came home, that she was drunk and passed out on the sofa, and that your mom had gone missing. That would be a totally different conversation. That's not what happened here. That is not what happened here. I am going to give you 6 months. I think she's entitled to the money. I'm entering judgment for the plaintiff, but I understand your situation. I understand you're an entrepreneur. I'm going to give you 12 months, but I am entering judgment in favor of the plaintiff in this situation because you really terminated her because of something that she didn't have control over. And if I thought for a second that she was negligent, I would be all over her. She was not. I believe she had your mother's best interest in heart, and you should be thankful that she was there for the 2 years that she gave you service. If nothing further, judgment in favor of the plaintiff, we will stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $10,000.
You should have never treated me this way.
Man, at least I got a new nanny.
All right, gather your belongings. Let's exit this way.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Eleanor Quayle is suing Kathy Pleasant in the amount of $3,000. Ms. Quayle claims her tenant broke her lease and says the defendant is blaming ghosts for her abrupt departure. Ms. Pleasant is countersuing for $3,000.
All right, Eleanor, you're in court with Kathy.
Yes, I am.
Now, I will tell you, I have to say this. I have heard thousands and thousands and thousands of cases since I've been a judge. I have never had a case concerning a haunted or alleged haunted house. So you're suing for $3,000, and you have a countersuit for $3,000. But there is a very detailed story about why you're both in my courtroom today. Tell me what happened.
Well, okay, I have this house in Spokane, Washington, and Spokane is known for its, superstitions and witches and ghosts and that kind of stuff. And I rigged up the house to be like a haunted house with sound effects and lighting. And I thought, great. And I did this as an Airbnb, and I would rent it out for a day, for maybe 2 days, at the most 5 days. Now, that got very old, and I wanted a long-term tenant. So I put up a sign for rent, for lease, and Kathy contacted me, and I thought, this is great. So anyways, what happened, everything was fine for 3 months. No complaints, nothing, and then all of a sudden, she sent me this email saying that the lights were flickering at a rapid rate and she hears whispers in the wall. And I replied immediately. And I said, well, that must be the equipment that I had in there. They were on timers so that they would go off, at random. So it wasn't like obvious that somebody was controlling it or anything like that,
And then there's something about, I read in the complaint about the furniture sliding.
The floor isn't exactly level. It's slightly at an incline. And, perhaps it slips a little. I don't know.
Maybe something you should have mentioned in the beginning?
Kathy said she didn't believe in ghosts and wasn't afraid to be in the house.
So you are looking for a place to rent.
Yes.
And how is it that you all got together?
She started telling me that it used to be an Airbnb and she would have like haunted attractions and this and that. I'm sorry, I'm not an attraction. I am not an attraction. I am now trying to rent.
She did say to you that it had been used as a haunted house.
Yes, and I was okay with that just because.
Okay, so did she describe how, like the lights or the sound effects or furniture sliding?
She didn't mention anything like that, Your Honor.
She didn't go into any detail?
No.
Yes, I did.
Wait, just a second. Did you ask?
I didn't really, at that point when she said, there's just things that we did that was fake, I didn't think nothing of it. So I was just like, okay, well, I don't really believe in ghosts anyway, but I'm a believer now. 100% I'm a believer now, Your Honor.
So now she moves into the house. The lease is for how long?
6 months.
6 months. And there was a security deposit that was paid?
Yes.
And that's the countersuit, the basis of your countersuit?
Yes.
Because you want the $3,000 back. So let me ask you the obvious question, Eleanor.
Yeah.
You know that she's going to rent the place. You know that you've been using it as a quote-unquote haunted house attraction. Why didn't you make sure all of that stuff was out of the house before she moved in?
I'm sorry that I didn't, but...
You think?
It was disconnected. Now, I don't know how it got reconnected. It was on timers.
Didn't get reconnected.
Timers can be... Now, the thing is, I don't understand how for 3 months nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, she has to get out of the house for who knows what reason.
For my safety.
So let me hear from you, Kathy. So you're saying you have some evidence that you want to share.
Yes, I do.
And tell me what that is.
So I actually have a video recording of the whispers that are happening in the walls. I also have the lights flickering.
After she removed the equipment?
Yes.
Let me see that, please. I think we have that. Let's look at that.
Hey guys, I'm here in the apartment. I keep hearing stuff within the walls. Can you guys hear anything?
What if it was your voice? Why was it
That was my recording.
What is going on now? Oh my God, have you seen this? Just leave me alone. Just go away. And we have an entity.
Not at all.
What was that?
That's so fake.
That's become a friend in the house.
That's ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. That's
easily
what
fake.
I dealt with every single night.
And that recording of the voice, that was my voice from my earlier recordings that I had removed.
So you tell
So
me.
she recorded it before I removed the stuff.
If it was removed, how is it still there? Explain that.
It's
What
not.
she's saying is that you recorded this before it was removed.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
There were many cold spots that would come and go randomly. I often felt as I turned corners like there was somebody going to be there.
And later.
I don't want to sit around. I want to go snowmobiling. I've been active my whole life. So I asked Keith here, hey, let's go snowmobiling. He said he's never done it before, but I have. And I said, it's not a problem. Let's go.
You all weren't hungover at this point?
No.
No.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Eleanor Quayle, who is suing Kathy Pleasant for breach of contract.
You have a witness that you want me to hear from, an expert?
Yes, ma'am.
And how is she an expert and why is she here?
So when all this stuff started happening, I got on the internet and honestly, I started looking for a ghost hunter. And
a ghost hunter?
Yes, a paranormal investigator. And that's when I met
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I have 20 years of experience. I have been a paranormal investigator since I was old enough to drive.
What kind of investigator?
Paranormal investigator. I'm invited by people to come into their home and investigate and see if they do, in fact, have paranormal activity going on. Most of the time it's nothing, but a majority of the time it can be something, and this time it really was something, and a really big something.
Well, you just contradicted yourself. Most time it's not something, but the majority of the time it is something. Isn't it something the majority of the time or not?
Yeah, it is, but it's not always a real ghost.
No.
I've gone to 3 different institutes that specialize in paranormal and psychoparanormal investigation and in teaching how to use the equipment and to study the people.
This is ridiculous.
What do you have in your
It's
hand?
not ridiculous. I have an education
Just a
in
second.
a very...
What do you have in your hand?
So this is our EMF meter. This is one of the many items that we use to investigate. It's on a setting right now that I could show you. We turn it on and it measures the frequency in the room, and it can tell you how high or low the frequency is and whether or not there is an entity there. The entities can sometimes even interact with our machines.
And let me tell you, Your Honor, that thing was going crazy the day she was there.
So you come to the house, and what happens when you come to investigate this particular house?
Well, I came in at first, as I approached the house, I had this really weird feeling of foreboding, like I shouldn't be doing this. This isn't a good idea.
Really a heavy
And
feeling.
I got into the house, and as I entered, it was cold. It felt very thick and dense in the house, and there were many cold spots that would come and go randomly. I often felt as I turned corners like there was somebody going to be there. This very weird feeling that we were being watched.
The air conditioner
and not in a
wasn't
good way.
on.
While I was there, you know, there were a few things that happened that I really can't explain because...
Some things happened that you couldn't explain, like what?
She got touched and she had her hair pulled. And she talked to me about a few different instances where she had received some scratches on her body, that she doesn't own any animals, so that's not an explanation to it. And saying that you have things set up in the house to spook people because it's fun. This isn't fun. This is real, and she's getting hurt. Maybe you should spend some time in your house. Are you afraid of your house? Is that why you haven't spent any time in it?
You've never spent a week in that
You
house.
haven't
There's no
spent any
way.
time, because if you did, then you would know that there is something there. It's not friendly, and it doesn't want people there.
My having used this house as a haunted house and giving her this idea made it easy for her to have a loophole to get out
Nobody in the
of her
neighborhood will
lease.
even look at this house when they walk by
I found
They're
out that she
spooked
had
by it
lost her
too.
job and obviously could not pay her rent.
I was paid up for 3 months. What are you talking about? Couldn't pay my rent. I needed to leave for my mental health.
Did you lose your job?
I lost my job because I was getting woke up every night at 3 a.m. Usually about every night. It's not every night. I can't say every night. But most nights at 3 a.m., I get no sleep because I'm constantly trying to figure out where all these noises are coming from or why I'm being touched, or, you know, it makes me feel like somebody's in the house.
For 3 months, nothing was waking her up. And then she lost her job and things had been waking her up.
You started having problems as soon as you lost your job?
No, there was things, but I brushed it off because she came and removed that.
All right, you signed the lease. It's a 6-month lease. At what point in the 6-month lease did you lose your job?
I lost my job probably roughly around the 4th month, not being able to get there on time because I was oversleeping.
And when did you leave the house?
About 2 weeks after that.
And now I have another tenant. So
Not for long.
that, according to the lease, she's responsible for that difference in time.
All right, I'm going to rule on this case. First of all, there's a problem in that you should have absolutely swept that house and made sure that every single thing was out of that house before anybody moved in. I am concerned because it does seem to me that the timing is suspicious, that there were not any problems the first 3 months, and then after she lost her job, there were problems with the house. And I'm talking, and we have an expert. I am not convinced that this house is haunted. I don't believe in it, and that doesn't necessarily mean that other people don't. And so what I think is, I think that there ought to be some consideration, because you should have swept the house. But I'm going to do this as a wash. I am. I'm not going to give you your counterclaim of $3,000, and I'm not going to give you the money the time that she was out of the lease. I think it was too messy. I think that this could have been handled in a much better way. And so your claim is denied as well as the counterclaim. If there's nothing further, we will stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled both claims have been denied.
It was all make-believe. It was
This
not
wasn't
real.
make-believe.
It's not make-believe. I've got a lot of proof
You
that
know,
you saw and you're discounting it. People are going to get hurt in your house.
Coming up,
He's going to need to get shoulder surgery, and of course, I wanted to be there by his side.
And why should the defendant be responsible for the airfare?
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Keith and Ruby Collins are suing Blair Rothman in the amount of $950. The co-plaintiffs claim Mr. Rothman's wild snowmobile driving sent Mr. Collins to the hospital and say the defendant should pay for the harm he caused.
All right, you all are in my courtroom suing the defendant for $950.
Yes, Your Honor.
There was some snowmobile incident that your husband and the defendant were out. Tell me what happened. You should probably tell me what happened because you were there.
Yes, Your Honor. I haven't been snowboarding in 3 years due to an accident that I had, which resulted in a concussion. And so I had a group of friends that decided they wanted to go on a trip out to snowboard. Initially, I said no, but they told me that they had a friend of theirs that they just met, and he was just going to hang out.
And so what happened?
Well, we got to know each other. We on Friday night we hung out at a bar. We got really, really drunk, and then next day we kind of relaxed. And I got to know Blair a little bit, and he seemed pretty cool.
All right.
Blair suggests, hey, maybe we should go for a snowmobile ride.
All right, so Blair, you all are sitting around.
Yes, Your Honor.
So tell me what happened.
I myself, I had an injury from about 7 years ago, so I can't ski or snowboard myself because it's painful for me. So Sunday, the guys, they want to go skiing and snowboarding. I don't want to sit around. I want to go snowmobiling. I've been active my whole life. So I asked Keith here, hey, let's go snowmobiling. He said he's never done it before, but I have, and I said, it's not a problem, let's go.
You all weren't hungover at this point?
No.
No.
Coming up,
he's tugging at my collar, yelling at me, slow down, screaming and crying, and it was terrible. The whole ride, almost an hour, so I was dealing with that.
Yeah, Your Honor.
So why not stop and say, get out?
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Keith and Ruby Collins, who are suing Blair Rothman for negligence.
I mean, so then what happened, Blair?
We rented the snowmobile for 2 hours. I paid for it, not a problem. It was awful. First 5 minutes
What do you
into
mean
it.
it was awful?
I wanted to have fun. The first 5 minutes into it, he's tugging at my collar, yelling at me, slow down, screaming and crying, and it was terrible. The whole ride, almost an hour, so I was dealing with that.
Yeah, Your Honor.
So why not wait? Why not stop and say, get out?
Your
Get
Honor.
off.
We were too far out up the slopes. He couldn't walk back.
I got really anxious because he was booking it. Like, he was going at unsafe speeds, and then we started going downhill, and that's when he completely lost control. And then we hit a tree, and now all I remember is both of us fell. We flew off of the snowmobile, and then the next thing I remember is I wake up at a hospital. I had to have surgery, and I had to have physical therapy.
All right, so what are you specifically suing for? You're suing for $950.
Yeah.
What is that for?
This is a waste of time here, Your Honor, in my opinion.
Yes, we haven't heard from you. Yes.
Yes, so I have my plane tickets here to and from the airport and to and from the hospital. And then I have my ride share.
And that's how we came up with the $950? Why
Yes.
was it necessary for you to be there?
Well, because his friend Paul called me and said, you need to come right away. Your husband has a concussion and he's going to need to get shoulder surgery. And of course, I wanted to be there by his side.
And why should the defendant be responsible for the airfare?
I just feel that he's negligent and he was very reckless in his driving and just very irresponsible the way that he was driving, and to have my husband get so hurt like this.
What I'm hearing is that you really are suing for the damages that you say that your wife incurred from having the airline ticket, the ride share, having to come and see about you.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
All right, let me tell you what I think, which is the only opinion that really counts in here, right? I think this is unfortunate. I think Blair, honestly, I would have taken him back, because he was anxious. He'd been hurt before. I think he was anxious. The first red flag is that he wouldn't get on the snowmobile by himself. That was the first red flag. Then he gets on with you. I believe that he was more anxious than he's admitting that he was anxious. And I agree with you. If he had been hurt in an accident, she would have come regardless of the circumstances. And because of that, I'm going to deny your claim for $950. I am sorry that this happened. I'm glad that you've recovered. But to hold him responsible for that under these circumstances, I don't think is appropriate. And therefore, I'm denying the claim for $950. And I wish you both well. But let's be very clear. If you're not comfortable, you've got to say, stop. I want to get off. And again, I'm sorry you were hurt. But for those reasons, I'm denying the claim. We'll stand adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The co-plaintiff's claim has been denied.
You need to be more responsible.
Yeah, maybe you
Very
learn
responsible.
next time,
Learn
even
how to
though
ride a
you won this
snowmobile
time.
next time. It's like a bike.
Maybe treat people better.
And don't make fun of people if they're sick.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. James Morales is suing Pamela Gonzalez in the amount of $1,275.59. Mr. Morales claims his girlfriend's meddling pal got in the middle of a lover's spat and says Ms. Gonzalez smashed a bottle over his head.
This is complicated. I read the complaint. I mean, we're talking about some serious issues here. You are suing the defendant saying that she assaulted you and that you're saying that she owes you some $1,200. She says it's self-defense based on the answer that was filed with the court. All right, how do you all even know each other?
She's friends with my girlfriend, Sasha.
All right, and so what happened?
She butted into something she shouldn't have butted into.
What do you mean she butted into something she shouldn't have butted into?
We had an argument, me and Tasha. Tasha and Pam went out to go have some brunch.
Okay, so Tasha's in the courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you and Tasha were dating?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so you and Tasha, something happened. What happened?
So we got in an argument once Pam and Tasha came back to the house for some brunch. Pam isn't the best influence on Tasha. I don't really think they're the best friends for each other. Pam is always getting into some stuff she shouldn't be getting herself into, and she's always around all these different men.
My relationships have nothing to
Okay.
do with what you did to Tasha. Leave that out of this.
Okay. Tasha came back from brunch smelling like another guy's cologne. And this isn't the first time this has happened. So me and Tasha, we got in an argument.
He put his hands on her, Judge.
That's...
Wait a minute now. It's the difference between getting into a verbal argument and then physically putting your hands on somebody. What happened?
I didn't hurt her, Your Honor. And this
Wait, that's
wasn't-
not the question. That was not the question. There's a difference between a physical contact and a verbal argument.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a chance to tell me exactly what happened, and then I'm going to hear from Pamela. What happened?
What happened is that I'm not an abuser. She's trying to come out here and make it
Did
seem
I ask you that? I asked you what happened. Why can't you just answer me directly?
We got in an argument. I've been going through a lot, and maybe I let my emotions get the best of me.
I'm going to ask you one more time. What the hell happened?
Maybe I just grabbed a little bit too hard.
Start from the beginning and tell me what happened.
She came home.
She came home.
Well, Pam,
She had been with Pam. They'd been out to a brunch. You and Tasha got into an argument.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened? I need to know step by step by step. Don't tell me maybe I lost my emotions. I want to know what happened.
Me and Tasha are talking in the living room. Like I said, this is something that's happened before. We're talking about the situation. We're talking for a few minutes, and then one thing has led to another.
And he put his hands on her, Your Honor.
And then once I had to grab Tasha, that's when Pam comes over and gets herself into the situation. So she had no reason to be putting herself in a situation.
Well, maybe she
Tasha
did if you were grabbing on Tasha. What happened, Pam?
Yes, Your Honor. So I was acting in self-defense for myself and my friend Tasha.
What happened? Tell me, walk it through step by step.
Yes. So we got back to the house from brunch, and as soon as we got back, James started saying that he smelled cologne on Tasha, like he always does, because he always wants to find something wrong that she's done so he can just continue to make anything that she does wrong. And then, so they start getting into an argument. I stay back because I don't want to get involved in it. I want to let them figure out their problems. But then he started getting closer and angrier with her, and then he grabbed her. So I came over into the situation. I tried to separate them. He pushes me back. So now I know that I have to protect her because she's stuck in this situation.
Where are you protecting her from?
You put her hands on her.
But
What am I supposed to do? Just let it?
I wasn't hurting her.
Not this time. What happens next time when I'm not there and it's just you two? I won't stand there and just let my friend become another news story.
Okay.
And I can't just stay there.
She was good.
No, she wasn't.
Is this a pattern? No, I won't ask that question. Let me ask it more directly. Has this happened before?
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Have you ever put your hands on her?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of James Morales, who is suing Pamela Gonzalez for medical expenses.
Have you ever hit her?
I have not, Your Honor.
That is your sworn testimony that you have never, ever hit her.
I would never lay my hands on Tasha.
Have you ever pushed her?
I pushed her, Your Honor, but I would never hit Tasha.
Have you ever put your hands on her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me the circumstances. What did you do?
I didn't punch her. I didn't slap her. I pushed her. She had fell to the floor. But that was the most of the situation.
And that only happened one time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you been verbally abusive to her?
That has been the case, Your Honor.
How often?
I try not to let it be often, but sometimes things
How
slip.
often? I'm asking you direct questions. I want to know the answers. How often?
Maybe every day.
Abuse comes in lots of different forms. It doesn't always have to be physical. It doesn't have to be a punch. It doesn't have to be a slap. It doesn't have to be throwing somebody down a flight of steps. It can be verbal. It can be emotional. All right, Tasha, let me hear from you. Stand up, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened? What happened when Pam had to intervene that day?
Well, first of all, Pam is like a sister to me, and I know that everything she does is for my benefit and to help me. When we got home, I could tell that James was already in a bad place. He's been going through a hard time since he lost his job.
How long ago did he lose his job?
Lost his job about
8, 9 months ago.
Before
8 or 9 months ago.
Before the incident, yeah, so it's been about 1.5 years now. And so we get in.
And how long have you all been in a relationship together?
We've been together for 3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So when we come in, Pam and I were having a great time. And then when he hugged me, he said that he smelt another man's cologne on me, which, baby, I wasn't doing anything. I swear to God, it was just a brunch with the girls. And so he was upset, and he was talking to me, accusing me of cheating. And he got heated, and I know that he would never do anything to hurt me.
No, I won't.
He was getting closer to me, and Pam felt that there was a threat. And when she tried to intervene, he was very mad that she was trying to get in the middle of it, and he pushed her.
Pam said, though, that he put his hands on you first before she intervened.
Yes, Your Honor.
How did he put his hands on you?
He kind of just, like he always does, he just kind of grabs me by the shoulders, but it's nothing
Do I
that
hurt you?
bad.
I don't hurt you. I don't hit you.
This is so typical of people in situations that are not healthy. I put my hands on her, but I would never hurt her. This has been going on for a long time, Tasha. So when Pam intervened, what happened to Pam?
She got pushed back.
And then what happened next?
Next thing I know, I see a bottle breaking over James' head.
What happened, Pam?
Yes, Your Honor. So after he pushed me, I went and got a bottle that was closest to me because that was the only thing I could think of that would separate Tasha enough to where she had enough space to get away.
You need to break a bottle over my head. Okay, that wasn't necessary.
Your Honor, I had to do what I had to do to protect my friend.
You weren't protecting anybody from nothing. Nothing was even going on.
You put your hands on her, and you have been abusing her emotionally and tearing her down for years.
If things were that bad,
It started out small. You would just do a little insults, no harm, no foul to anyone else, but I noticed every single step.
Okay.
And then it slowly started getting more and more physical.
But
I saw a light
we're still
diminish
together.
in her
Yeah, but we're still
every
together.
single day.
Yeah, but we're still together. If I'm that bad of a person.
From your manipulation.
Well, that's the question. That is the question. I mean, you by your own testimony, James, have said that there's something that goes on every single day. That ought to be a real red flag.
I'm not forcing Tasha, Your Honor, to stay with me. I'm not manipulating her. If anything, that's Pam doing that to Tasha. Before this, Tasha was on my side.
Because she's scared.
She's not scared.
She's not going to tell you she's scared. And I'm going to do what I have to do to protect her.
You're not protecting her for nothing. We're good. This case ain't about me and Tasha. This is about you breaking a glass over my head. So
What
which
kind
I
of
did in
injuries-
self-defense.
What kind of injuries did you sustain in this situation, James? Tell me. You have some evidence?
I do, Your Honor.
Let me see it. I'm going to rule on the money, but I've got a lot to say. As you might imagine, I'm going to have a whole lot to say. So you went to the hospital. Describe your injuries to me.
I got a big gash on the back of my head, Your Honor, about 2 inches long.
Did you have to have stitches?
I did, Your Honor.
Did you have insurance?
I was covered, but it didn't cover all the bills that were on that.
So this is after the insurance paid. This is what was left.
Yes, Your Honor.
Coming up,
It's never a situation where people start off saying that they meant to hurt you, but all the signs are there. That something is happening negative in this relationship every single day.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of James Morales, who is suing Pamela Gonzalez for medical expenses.
Whew. All right, obviously, I'm going to rule on the money, but I really need to talk to you all about this. Statistically, 1 out of every 3 women in this country have suffered some kind of domestic violence abuse. And when I say violence, I don't mean necessarily all physical, but when we talk about 1 in 3, we're talking about literally 1 in 3 who have been physically abused, right? I don't know what the stats are for the women who have been emotionally or verbally abused, but I do know that the stats say that 1 in 3 women in this country have suffered some kind of abuse in a domestic relationship. And we find domestic relationships with people that you're close to. You know, it could be your spouse, it could be your boyfriend, it could be a friend, it could be anybody that you have a close relationship with. That's how we define this period. It's never a situation where people start off saying that they meant to hurt you. And what happens, and I'm not saying that this is necessarily going to happen with James, but all the signs are there. That something is happening negative in this relationship every single day.
But I'm working on that.
Based on, and we're going to work on this for sure, based on not your testimony, not Pam's testimony, James's testimony. You have said that something negative happens every single day.
Coming up,
I'm really worried now more about you, Tasha. And you've got to really rethink this. Either you all need to get into some serious counseling or you need to move on.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of James Morales, who is suing Pamela Gonzalez for medical expenses.
When I was growing up, the big thing about birth defects in this country, and people in this courtroom who may be as old as I am will remember that there used to be the March of Dimes, and we would go and put dimes in a canister to fight polio. You know what the big threat is now? It is a woman being pregnant and being abused by a partner that's causing serious birth defects. How different the world stands. We've eradicated polio, but we haven't done enough about domestic violence. I'm really worried now more about you, Tasha. Either you all need to get into some serious counseling or you need to move on.
We talked about counseling. We're working on it.
What do you mean? Tell me what you mean when you say you're working on it.
So now I'm starting to talk to a therapist. Before I had trouble with talking with other people, so I just hold everything in. Now I'm talking to a therapist twice a week.
How long have you been talking to a therapist?
For 3 months now.
How many months?
3 months.
But this happened after 3 months. This happened after you went into therapy, yes? Yes. Yes. I know the answer. The answer is yes.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Man, what are you thinking?
Tasha knows she always has a place to stay.
Exactly, so if she wanted to, then she would have. She's fine.
No, I don't recognize her anymore because of what you've done.
Okay. This
So she
isn't
doesn't
about
think
us.
she can leave.
All I want is to get my medical bills paid, so.
Well, you're not gonna get your medical bills paid. Let's get that straight right now. I'm not gonna give you a dime. I think this is justified in the situation.
This makes no sense.
Maybe a little heavy-handed. You're not gonna get a dime. I don't like your attitude anyway. I don't like your attitude. It's like she wants to be with me. I'm good for her. I don't mean to hurt her.
This doesn't change the fact that she hit me over the head with a bottle.
And it doesn't change the fact that I'm not giving you a dang damn dime.
Okay.
You got that? Your attitude sucks in here. It really does. And you may be in love with him, but this is a big price to pay for love. I am denying your claim. You need to put yourself first, because this is not going to get better without there being some serious intervention and some help for both of you. There's nothing further. The plaintiff's claim is denied for the reasons I have stated. We'll stand adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied. Domestic violence impacts millions in the U.S. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men experience severe physical violence from an intimate partner in their lifetime. But abuse is more than physical. It can also be emotional, sexual, digital, and financial. Recognizing the warning signs of abusive and controlling behavior is important. The hotline can help. Call 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. Text START to 88788 or chat thehotline.org. This has been a production of Allen Media Group.